Okay. Ah, let me get links posted. Where is it? Uh, um, let's see. Where's the place I post here? Right? Yeah. Cool. Oh, cool. Who is in chat, if anyone? No one. All right, we're just gonna get into this. I am procrastinating today by doing this right now, but that's what I do as a college student. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this without further ado. For starters, we have. Let's go over the um, standings, and this is the week 6 is the last week, so that means that the top 6 will be moving on to playoffs, and the first 2 will get a bye. So those people getting a bye are Brightwing and Eric Cadalzo, who have both been doing fantastic this season. But it does look like Eric actually lost one. So I guess we'll see how that goes, how that went. Both of them only having one loss in the entire season. Brightwing having a differential of 18, which is absolutely insane to see. Um, and then Dino Trooper coming up just shy with an 8 differential, wherein Eric has a 9. Moving on, we have DC in 4th with 4 at 4 and 2 plus 6. And then we have Mental Mark in 5th at 3 and 3, followed by Flovix at 3 and 3 plus 0. We have Super Baller at 3 and 3 as well with -1. Snack Machine at 2 and 4 -3. UU in 6th at 0 and 0 and 6, and Cavi in 10th at 0 and 6 as well. This week there were 2 forfeits. UU and Cavi both forfeited their match. They couldn't make playoffs anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But who did they play? They played Mark, I think. Actually, let me check. UU forfeited to DC, and Cavi forfeited to Super Baller. So, looking at this, it doesn't look like it affected too much. Yeah, that didn't affect the placing here at all, and Super Baller didn't make it. So, yeah, them forfeiting didn't affect much at all. So, that's honestly ideal. But our playoffs contenders will be these 4: Dino Trooper, DC, Mental Mark, and Fluffix. Obviously, Brightwing and Eric will be competing as well. They just won't be participating until next week. So we have Dino Trooper versus Fluffix and DC versus Mental Mark for playoffs, and I will go over that whenever those matches are done. All right, let's go ahead and get into the MVPs. How could I forget? MVPs. Who do we have? All right, we got Dino Trooper's Duo. Actually, let me show you their records. 14 kills and 4 deaths in 6 games. That's pretty decent. That's I've seen kill counts that high in high tier, which is kind of insane to see about when they have like 3 more games in a season than the Doduo did. I guess we'll see what Doduo did in our first match, because that's our first one on the schedule today. Mabray, 10 and 3 in 5 games. Scraggy, 9 and 3 in 5 games as well. Crabrawler, 8 and 2 at 4 games. Corefish at 8 and 3 in 4 games. Hisuian Zora at 7 and 1 in 3 games. I don't think that's changed. Fungus at 7 and 3 in 3 games. That really hasn't changed much since week 1. Uh, Stunky in 8th at 7-5. Just been a consistent, very good Pokemon for Eric throughout the entire season. Nothing amazing though. Nothing crazy, just consistently very good. Snivy at 9th at 7-5. Kind of the same boat there. And Eric's Grookey at 6-2. Which very similar situation to his Stunky. So it seems like he built his team a little bit more balanced. So his team isn't popping off quite as much as like the Doduo or the Mudbray that we see up top, but they're still consistently doing pretty well across the board. Because yeah, if you look down a little bit, you can see his Chimchar and his Drifloon are just shy of making top cut as well for MVPs. However, without further ado, let's get into the matches. All right, this first one is Dino Trooper versus Metal Mark. Dino Trooper brought Cutie Fly, Doduo, Sandshrew, Chinchou. I always say this Pokemon name, Maschiff, and Meowth. Mental Mark brought Fletchling, Cinccino, Magby, Dupeter, Golett, and Scraggy. Let's go ahead and see how they do. Leading with a Meowth into a Dupeter. Into immediately swap into the... That is a very good call from Dino Trooper's part. Dino Trooper, you're in chat. I don't know if you made that read or just kind of click knockoff to click knockoff, because I don't know the roles or anything here. But that looks to me like that was a predict. Yeah, you made the read. Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty fair read to make, considering, you know, that's their only way to handle your Meowth in the first place. That's not an... Okay, what... Is this a Moxie Scraggy, looks like? Close combat, doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, the fake out was a very obvious play, so it's very fair to swap out there. You turn to Chinchou. Psychic. Agility. Ooh, Chinchou might be popping off. Okay, yeah. Killing the Magby. Going to Oranges. Thunderbolt for 50%, and then... That has to kill, right? Yeah, okay. That's skill link, right? Yeah, it has to be. I guess it doesn't have to be, but, you know, why would it not be? Fake out doing 50% is insane. Good predict from Mental Mark there. Yeah, it is a Moxie, like I thought. Going back to Minccino. Honestly, Intim probably would have been generally better. Fair tidy up, but it is going to cost you a little bit. You're a bit behind. Forced to swap. The Surf just kills. I forget how insane Water Bubble is. Actually, no, I don't. I love Water Bubble. Water Bubble is one of my favorite abilities. And does Doduo just clean up here? No. What takes out the Fletchling? Because Fletchling's doing a lot right now. I guess Meowth just kind of clutches up. I could to give her the Gale Wings, and then you just... Oh, no, it just kills. And then take its item. Actually, it doesn't take the item, but that was a fairly close match. I mean, obviously you had the win there. It wasn't like coming down to like a roll or anything like that. But that was still a fairly close match. You were kind of like in the driver's seat the whole time. Very well played from Dino Trooper there, I'd say. Just overall, very good prep from this side. Alright, we're going to move on to the next match. Eric. Yeah, you never really lost control, for sure. Like I said, you were very much in the driver's seat. He was always on like the back end. Obviously, you lost Pokemon because, you know, went down to 1, but it wasn't ever without you intentionally sacking it or not to get momentum or something like that. Eric brought Stunky, Grookey, Drifloon, Alolan Meowth, Chimchar, and Makuhita, bringing their 4 best Pokemon that they've just consistently been doing really well with all season. And Brightwing brought... Oh, I actually didn't know these guys played each other, so... This week. I have no idea what the matches look like before going into this, so I just kind of so it's a genuine like first react. Um, I don't even look at the matchups at all. Brightwing brought Wattrell, Crabrawler, Apom, Vulpix, Shieldon, and Quaxley. We didn't see any of these in the top 10, I don't think. Makes it maybe the Apom. So that's a little bit interesting. So it looks to me like this week's going to be a very close match, if I were to guess. Let's see how it goes. Chimchar, Shieldon lead. That is a. Oh, I don't. It's not. Yeah. Well, okay. So Seraphim is supposed said he would be uploading them because first I get a first react, and he goes through it on Sundays. But then you always beat us to it, Dino. That's not our fault. We intend to do it on time. We just have a set time to do it. Anyways, U-turn because the switch would have been the right play, I think here. Yeah, Seraphim's supposed to be doing. Oh, I see. Okay, Dino Trooper, then you can't complain if you want to do it. All right. Pretty. So I mean, obviously you U-turn because you don't kill this thing and it just destroys you. Going into this to take a power gem, Stealth Rock on the switch, and ooh, you don't die to a Thunderbolt. I don't know. That'll be good for a sack later, but other than that, it's not really super helpful. Um, Knockoff, fair enough. Going for the taunt, I think you might just die here. No, you just get the Stealth Rock. Okay. Earth Power does next to nothing to Makuhita, and Ice Punch. What was the call there? Predicting a switch, I assume? Switch. Okay, because he thinks you have an ice move, a fighting move, so he thinks you're gonna swap to predict that, but he knows that you're gonna think he's gonna swap, so he mental games. And then he gets the drain punch on the swap, so Brightwing's just playing all around Eric right now. That's gonna be a sucker punch next turn. No, I mean it was, but it just didn't matter. That's unfortunate. Okay. Okay, here's sacking that Meowth. But I don't think that was a good swap. That definitely does not look like a good swap to me, but I guess it's Grassy Glide swapping to Vulpix, so it takes it. And then Vulpix just kind of destroys something here. Yeah. Chimchar might eat it. Not really. And there's a second one. And what the heck is Vulpix on? That only did 44%? That's nothing. Swap to Grabrawler here? No. I mean, yeah, but that's still like nothing. Yeah, swap to Grabrawler. Exactly as I thought. For the free Will-O-Wisp. What is Crabrawler? Ooh, I think Crabrawler loses this match up right here. Unless Eric gets greedy. Like that. That didn't even do that much. That's insane. And then Eric just destroys it. What do you do? How do you come back from this? Eric, you just live the air cutter. Fair enough. That will. The fact that killed. Knockoff killed. Because that's no item, and +1 defense. I guess you are life orb, but like, that's still kind of crazy. Okay. There's one of the Violites. Yeah, was I don't know. There's no way Vulpix took otherwise. And then Quaxly just gets a kill. And then Quaxly does Quaxly just clean up here? Other than the Grookey? Vulpix. Because they need a Grassy Glide or they lose on the spot. And There we go. Yeah, just spamming. I got 2 more kills. Why would you go to Vulpix here? Wait, hold on. No, got killed. No, never mind, never mind. Ignore me. I thought they went to Vulpix afterwards. So Chimchar, is that Scarf Chimchar? 17. Yeah, that's Scarf Chimchar, probably. Unless it's just a really bulky Vulpix, that's the other option. All right. Okay, we got one more match. I'm not gonna go over. Is this the first time? Oh yeah, Brightwing did a new nickname theme this time. They're not all ducks. All right, last match. The other two, because the other two were forfeits. We got Snack Machine versus Fluffix. Snack has Snivy, Diglett. That's not a lone Diglett, right? Yeah, it's regular Diglett. Tentacool, Greavard, Chespin, and Starly. Whereas Fluffix brought Hisuian Voltorb, Hisuian Zora, Scorbunny, Krogunk, Hippopotas, and Bronzong. Alrighty. What do I think they're gonna lead? I feel like Snivy's a decent lead from Snack here. Maybe not. I guess Fluffix thought the same thing. Just make them use all those sucker punches. Getting rid of the life orb, that's really good for the Krogunk to get rid of. And then this does not much to the Greavard. And the Hippopotas. I guess Fire Fang makes sense, but does Greavard really not have a better option to hit the... Okay, that's actually really huge, taking the Eviolite from the Hippopotas. Burn? Yep. Greavard just kind of sits here right now. But you can go to Tentacool for free, yeah, that's fair. And then they don't really have a switch in other than the Krogunk to a water move, which they obviously predicted. Back to Greavard. Taking a knockoff, that's not ideal. And then just sacking Greavard here because it stuns purpose. Fair enough. Diglett just kills Krogunk. And they go to Voltorb? No, they go to Bronzor because it's Levitate, I guess. Trick Room, okay. You don't see a Trick Room a lot in singles. Weakness Policy. That's cool. I think that just wins set of the week on the spot. Or like personal favorite. Because they can't beat this thing anymore. Oh, never mind. Yes, they can. Poor timing. I was about to say Voltorb gets Nasty Plot, and then I realized it wasn't a Voltorb. And then Zora just kind of clutches up here, I think, right? Yeah. Does it? Does Zora not get Psychic? Because I think Zoroark does. Huh. Weird. Anyways, let's go through. Or maybe it does, and they just didn't bring it for some reason because they wanted a flinch chance, and it didn't really matter otherwise. I don't know. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's start with nickname because that's the one that is the least offensive to people, except for Mark apparently. Okay, Harmony, Finality, Destruction. I did kind of like the Destruction for Crabrawler. And then no nicknames on this side. Then we got Dino. Have I given you a nickname award yet? I've not. Let's see. I've liked your nickname theme the whole time, but frankly, it's just been kind of outshone by other things. I think that this week the nicknames are mid enough that, like I like your nickname theme in general, but it's just there's just always better things. So let's see what What this week? I think we'll give it to Cutie Fly Hot Girl the Cutie Fly. Because I feel like that's just a really silly name. See, the fact that you switch them makes me irritates me. So I don't know what to tell you, man. You made the dog a cat and the cat a dog. That's your own fault. Eh, um, they. What do you mean they both moose? What does that mean? What does that mean, Mark? Not Mark. What does that mean, Dino? Okay, then we're going to go to. But they're not moosin. Dino, I think you might need glasses, my friend. Anyways, we're gonna go to personal favorite, and like I said, weakness policy Bronzong is just heat in general. So this is a really cool set that I'm glad I got to see. Um, all right, next up is MVP. I think I already gave it to Doduo. Doduo didn't do a ton. Let's see. I might give it to the Jupiter. I don't know how many kills it got, but it did a lot. Um, let's see. Stunky didn't do much. Drifloon kind of did a lot. Not enough. The Chimchar did a lot, actually. Did it get all the kills? I got all the kills. Because it killed that. No, it didn't. What am I saying? This did a lot. This killed Meowth. It killed Chimchar. It killed Makuhita. That's 3 kills there. This was a cool set, but I'm not gonna give personal favorite to him as well. Honestly, okay. I think MVP is gonna go to the Quaxley. And then match of the week. Ooh, who did I get match of the week? I think it's gonna go to. This was a very commanding game, but it wasn't like oppressive. This one was a little bit more balanced between the two. Anyone could have won, which I do like, and that tends to be what I weigh very heavily when I'm thinking about match of the week. And this one was very one-sided, like even more so than Dino's. So I don't think this one's gonna get it. So I'm debating between Eric versus Brightwing, and Dino versus Mark. So I think I'm gonna give it to Eric and Brightwing, partially because they are both they had both been doing very well all season, and this was also the match that made the only match that Eric lost, which I think is worth mentioning for match of the week. Plus, it was a very back and forth kind of match, not necessarily back and forth, but a little bit more than some of the other ones this week, which, once again, like I said, is one of my biggest qualifiers for match of the week. All right, that's gonna be stream for today. Pretty short. I should be doing things and definitely not being playing champions. I swear. I've been putting off homework to play champions. It's not good. It's very not good. um, just as a reminder, for next week, these are the matches I'll be going over next week: Dino versus Fluffix, and then DC versus Mark. Brightwing and Eric got a bye for this first round of playoffs. Wow, the pink is really bad for the chat background. That you can't read that like at all. All right. You were one away. Well, actually, did you lose to Eric? Because then, yeah, I would have been two. You did? Yeah, I would have been two then. Also, what the heck was Brightwing cooking? Brightwing cooked something crazy. The eight. I. I mean, yeah, Brightwing is very good at Little Cup. That is true. But I don't think I've seen. I think I've very rarely seen a differential that high in high tier. And well, not okay. I shouldn't say high tier. I should say in length seasons. I think I've seen one that high one other time. The guy was like 8-1, which is that's still crazy. His one loss was what was his one loss? It was early. No. Yeah, Brightwing lost 2-0 to DC, but then his other ones like 5, 4, 3. 3 that's fine. 5 again, and then 3. Like this guy's cooking. Who is the only person to beat him? DC. DC. DC could play him. I don't know who plays the winners. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that's on me. My assumption usually is that people are dudes, and I don't always look at the genders. That's on me. Yep, sure is. She, her. Uh, anyways, we're gonna stop stream there. Um, thank you for staying by and chatting, Dino. It's appreciated. I will see you all next week, probably on Monday. I hope so. We'll see.